Hi, welcome back. So, as we were discussing about cancer cells, we said cancer cells can also continue to divide in the absence of many of the growth factors. Cancer, cancer cells can also continue to divide. They can continue to divide in the absence of many of the growth factors, of many of the growth factors required for division in healthy cells, required for division in healthy cells. So this is a very big problem for these cells. So as a result, they divide much more often than do healthy cells. So cancer cells form disorganized clumps. Cancer cells form disorganized clumps. Cancer cells form disorganized clumps. Disorganized clumps called tumors. So they form these disorganized clumps called tumors. So a tumor of a cancer cell may either be an organized one or actually a disorganized one. We are meaning here that the tumor cell can be removed without harm, or it may cause harm to the organism. So tumor cells actually are divided into or categorized into two. One, in a burning tumor. One is a burning tumor. This is one example. One example is a burning tumor. So in a burning tumor, the cancer cells typically remain clustered together. The cancer cells typically remain together. Cancer cells remain together or clustered. Remain clustered together. Remain clustered together. So let's add clustered here. They remain clustered together. Because they remain clustered together, they can be eliminated or they may be removed easily. So this means the tumor may be relatively harmless, that is one, and can probably be cured by just removing it. However, in another type of tumor, which we call malignant, if the tumor is malignant, in malignant tumor, which is the second type, in malignant tumor, things are different here. In malignant tumor, some of the cancer cells can break away. Some of the cancer cells can break away. So this breaking away, we correlate metastasize. Metastasize. So they may metastasize. They may metastasize. When they metastasize, actually what it means that they will be moving. They will be moving. So this type will be moving type. That is why we say it is metastasized form of tumor. So these breakaway cells can be carried in the bloodstream or in the lymphatic system to other parts of the body. So let's look at this in the diagram that we have here. So in this figure 3.3, the cancer cells form tumors that may metastasize to other parts of the body. So these are normal cells. This is just a single cancer cell starting here. But as cancerous cells continue increasing, the healthy cell may become a cancer cell if certain genes are damaged. So if some certain genes are damaged in a normal cell, the normal cell will also become cancerous. 2, cancer cells divide more often than do healthy cells and may form disorganized clumps called tumors. So now we are having the tumors here. You can see these tumors. Sometimes cancer cells break away from the tumor. They can be carried in the bloodstream. So if it breaks away and it's carried in the bloodstream to the other part of the body, they form new tumors somewhere else. And this process of breakaway, we call it metastasize. So if tumors are malignant, they will metastasize, that is, move from one part of the body to another through the bloodstream, and they will be very extremely difficult to control. They will be very extremely difficult to control. So let's look at some other facts about cancer here. So cancer cells do not perform specialized functions needed by the body. Cancer cells So someone may ask, but why are they harmful? But why are tumors harmful? Maybe you might be having one and you think anyway, why should I bother myself removing it? After all, I don't see any harm. So cancer cells do not perform the specialized functions needed by the body. Cancer cells do not perform the specialized do not perform the specialized they do not perform the specialized functions needed by the body. It's like having some stuff in your house which you don't use. So in the lungs, for example, cancer cells do not exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. In the brain, they do not transmit the carefully ordered electrical messages needed to interpret information. Therefore, the body has large clumps of rapidly dividing cells that require lots of food and healthy blood supply, but that contribute nothing to the cell's function. So imagine a case where you have this bunch of cells and they actually contribute nothing to the body. The only thing they do is rather consume the nutrients that the body has. So let's take an instance where you have, for example, cancers or tumors growing inside the skull. So if they are growing inside the skull, they will cramp the brain for space. They will push the brain. Why? Because they are continuously growing. Because they are continuously growing. And some regions would be unable to function properly. So if cancer cells continue to grow unchecked, they will eventually kill the organisms. If cancer cells if cancer cells continue to grow unchecked, unchecked, they will eventually kill the organism. They will eventually kill the organism. So cancer cells are no joke because it's a matter of life and death. Cancer cells come from normal cells that have suffered damage to the genes that help make proteins involved in cell cycle regulation. So cancer cells should note this. Cancer cells come from normal cells. They come from normal cells that have suffered damage. So because they have suffered